Hey, it's Liz from Thrice, and it's Web3 Wednesday. I recently listened to a great conversation between Bernard Marr and Chris Duffy, each of whom are futurists, strategic thinkers, and have really understood how technology has made its way through society and where it's headed. I will link to that conversation here, and I think it's worth a listen. The general topic was, is the metaverse dead? And given the news that's been out there, you might think, yes, it is. Meta, aka Facebook, has now killed their metaverse division after spending $14 billion. Disney recently fired all of its metaverse staff. Consumers seem to be using the metaverse less and less. People are buying less virtual land. NFT sales have crashed. Companies are investing less in this technology. And yet we still do see things happening with Starbucks and Spotify and Ticketmaster and these other companies that I've covered. So the question is it really dead or is it changing? And the hot new thing these days is artificial intelligence. Everyone's talking about ChatGPT and DALL-E and deep fakes and what regulation we're going to wrap around this before it gets completely out of hand. And a new term you may be hearing is artificial general intelligence, or AGI. And really, AI itself, artificial intelligence, has been around for a while. It's just been more narrow. It was really been designed to solve specific problems. Artificial general intelligence is what we're hearing about today. So you've got this massive amount of data on the internet where it can all be pulled into a database, and you can ask almost any question you can think of, and it's going to pop out an answer. The problem is you don't really know if the sources it's pulling from are legitimate or not. And this is where people want to get into some of how are we going to regulate this and ensure that we aren't, generating endless pictures of the Pope in a puffy coat, which didn't happen, but of course went all around the internet after it was created in one of these AGI engines. So to me, it feels a little bit like Dunkin' and KFC, changing their names from Dunkin' Donuts and Kentucky Fried Chicken, but still having the same menus. So we've had the metaverse, which really is a bridge between the real world and virtual worlds. It's persistent, it's online, users come in and communicate and play and work and do all kinds of things. But, it's right now isn't something that you can go from one metaverse to another. They're all very disparate. Web3 is this broader ecosystem that's based on the idea of a distributed or decentralized internet. Rather than having Amazon and Facebook and Google and these massive players really control all the data, a decentralized or distributed internet is more peer-to-peer. And that's the overall idea around Web3. Now we're hearing a term called the spatial web. And this is kind of a combination of these things, right? You've got a decentralized web built on blockchain technology that uses augmented reality and virtual reality and pulls in kind of everything we've been talking about with the metaverse. So, is the spatial web the next iteration of the metaverse? Is this the new term that we're going to be using? I think what we're going to see is that the technology is going to continue to develop and move forward, but the language we use around it may change. And, what's going to get us to this brave new world? As I keep saying, it has to be use cases that make sense to everyday regular people. So on a business side, you think about healthcare and education, massive industries with, trillions of dollars being spent in them, an enormous upside for humanity, right? If we can have more control of our digital health record and, share general information for studies, specific information to our doctors, help get healthcare to people all around the world, that's amazing. Same with education. Let's level the playing field. Not everybody can go to a top school, but if you can access the internet and get amazing access to education and information and be able to ask questions and get answers, there's a huge upside there. Similarly, just in our everyday consumer lives, we want something like a digital ID? Why do I have to keep carrying around a piece of plastic that's laminated, piece of paper laminated with my picture on it? How come my state can't digitally give me an ID that's secure? It's on the blockchain. If I lose it, no big deal. I can just pull up another one. Banking is another thing. We want to be able to send money to each other and not wait for days and not pay a lot of fees for it. And of course, entertainment. I've talked about music and art and fashion and the like, and how the virtual world can be really interesting in bringing those environments to life. So is the metaverse dead? Probably not. Will we call it the metaverse in 5 years? Maybe not. So that's a little take on this. And again, I encourage you to watch this video or listen to the video between Chris and Bernard, because they have a lot of really interesting takes on the space. And I think it's something that we're all going to be dealing with for decades to come. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.